Thank you to Bridget and Sue and Suzanne and Andrea for bringing us all together, women sharing and connecting and inspiring each other. How many of you believe relationships are mysterious and there just is no easy way to figure them out? There really is. I used to believe that, but now I believe there really is a way to figure them out. We spend a lot of time trying to figure out our partner. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are they, can we get rid of the buzz?
Am I buzzing?
What are they thinking? What are they feeling? Do they have feelings? And why is it that we can be in the same situation and yet see it very differently? And we look for our value in how other people respond to us. But that can be really confusing. There's 9 personalities out there with different perceptions, different ways of reacting to you. And in the same situation, people are going to react to you differently. I believe we're looking for the answer to these 3 questions. Who am I? And how can I be my best self? How do I find my passion and my purpose? And how do I get loved the way I need? All of you have a story out there. And some of your stories are horrific. I have friends and clients, and yet on the outside we see everyone who's smiling and normal. We don't know what's going on behind it. But what's important is not what's happened to you, but what do you do about it in your life? How do you make that to work for you in your life?
Sorry, I can't fix this one. My apologies. Carry on, sorry.
No worries, no worries. So is it okay if I share my story with you?
Yeah.
I met my husband at 16, and we married at 18. He was my Prince Charming, and I thought we'd be married forever. And we were married for 35 years and then divorced. What went wrong? We did everything right. We focused on our kids, we worked hard, we had the same values, same morals, same goals. But we just weren't connected. And I didn't know why that was. It was like, he was my silent partner. He didn't talk much. And he was a complete mystery to me, and I'm pretty sure I was to him too. And I would see other couples, and I would see them laughing and talking and sharing and being so comfortable with each other. And I think, what's the secret? How come you figured that out and I can't? What is it? And I searched for answers everywhere. I read stacks of self-help books. I took workshops. I read marriage manuals. And all of those helped me grow. But I couldn't figure out what it was with us. And I yearned to connect. I yearned to share our hopes and dreams and talk. But we weren't able to do that. And I would spend a lot of nights thinking about, what did I say? What should have I said? What could I say? And often I felt, it must be me. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. And before I knew it, our 25th wedding anniversary came. And I saw other couples who renewed their marriage vows and went away on a second honeymoon or threw a big party. But my husband didn't want to do any of that. He was a good man. He worked hard. He always had 2 jobs. He was loyal. But it was the connection thing. And he had a teaching job, and so it was October, a day much like today, was our anniversary. And I asked him if we could go to Banff for the weekend, and so we did. And I asked him if he would buy me a little momentum for our 25th wedding anniversary, and he didn't say no. So off we went. And when we got out there, I gave him a gift that I thoughtfully selected. And he said, I've been working so hard, I haven't had time to buy you a gift. And I said, that's okay. Let's go downtown and you can pick up something downtown. So we're walking along, and I have my arm through his, and we never got away much, away from the kids, so I was really excited. This was the weekend to spend time alone and connect. But my anxiety started to rise. What if he won't buy me a gift? Does that mean he doesn't love me? And the anxiety kept raising. So I thought, I'll make it really easy for him. And we came up to the Christmas store, and I said to him, would you go in there and buy me a gift? And he said no. I had never asked so clearly, and he said no. And at the time, I didn't know where this energy came from, but I grabbed him by the lapels, and I pushed him through the door of the store, and I said, you're going to buy me a gift. Damn it. And then I stood there in shame and humiliation that I'd been married for 25 years, and this man wouldn't do this little thing for me. And he came out of the store, and he was so excited. He had these 2 decorations, and he showed them to me. I just wanted to throw them on the ground and stomp on them. But did I do that? Nope. We followed our patterns. Our patterns were never talk about anything, never create conflict, shove everything under the rug, pretend everything's okay. Any of you relate? And I didn't speak up. I swallowed it back down again. See, we reach a crossroads in our life. And that day was a crossroads for me. What I told myself was he didn't love me. And I shut down my heart. Years later, after we were divorced and I wrote my book, I said to him, why would you not go in that store and just buy me this little gift? And he said, I couldn't figure out why you wanted something so silly. I wanted to buy you something nice, and you insisted. Wow. This is what happens to us. When we don't know each other, we don't know our loving style, when we don't know how we need to feel loved and appreciated. And when I wrote my book, I said to him, I'm going to give you a chapter in my book, and you can write anything you want. And he did. He was a man of few words. He wrote a few things, and he said, you know, if I was writing this book, it would be a totally different book. I said, of course it would be. Be from your perspective. So I spent the next 10 years, and I stopped focusing so intently on this relationship, and I went out and figured out what things I wanted to do. Could I live in this relationship as it was? Because we had a good life. Neither one of us were abusive. It was this connection thing for me that I yearned for. Is this all there is? I needed that. And after 10 years, I started getting some funky medical reports, etc. And I finally came to the conclusion that I was out of integrity staying with him because I didn't love him anymore. I didn't feel that I could honor that relationship. So I said to him, I need to leave you for me. And I left the marriage. And when I did, I found the Enneagram Personalities. It was the biggest aha moment of my life. When I read my profile, it was like reading a biography of myself, of an operator's manual. These are the great things about myself, my personality. These are my gifts to people. This is how people see me. This is how people relate to me. Here's all my patterns and all the glowing things about me. And then there's all this other stuff over here that I didn't like so much. But I knew they were part of me. And here's the thing, that when you recognize the challenges you have with yourself and you step into the power of developing those into strengths, that's where you transform into your very best self. That's where you become the person you're meant to be. I was so excited. I read my profile, I read his profile, and in 30 minutes, I knew more about him, myself, and our relationship than in the 35 years we'd been together. And I was ecstatic. There is documented research on our patterns of personalities and how we interact together. And so I've spent the last 10 years researching couple combinations, a boss, coworker, a parent, child, any combination together, you can put together and figure out your strengths and weaknesses and how you can get along and how you can understand each other. And for couples, when I researched our two personalities, I'm a helper personality. I like to help. I like to nurture. I like to be involved. I like to be connected. For helpers, relationships are their life. For other people, relationships are a part of their life. My husband is a peacemaker. My ex-husband now, he's a peacemaker. Goes along with the flow, merges with other people, needs harmony, will not create anything that creates conflict. So here I was being intently focused on this relationship, being overly nurturing, being overly intrusive, being overly giving, which he found intrusive, which made him back away and spend a lot of time in the garage and working a lot. And it told us about our two personalities, that when my giving, what I thought was unconditional, was really conditional. To the other person, it feels like controlling. And so they become passive-aggressive and stubborn. That's the dance we did for 35 years. And neither one of us knew what was going on. We were playing the game of life with a blindfold on. And if we'd known this information sooner, I believe it would have made a big difference. But then I wouldn't have found my passion and purpose. I wouldn't have found the Enneagram, maybe. I wouldn't have been searching. This is how I got to where I am. See, we didn't know how to love each other. Each personality feels loved and appreciated differently. And in the corporate world, respected and valued differently. So this is a wealth of information that transforms people's lives. Remember the 3 questions that I had in the beginning? Who am I? How can I be my best self? I know very clearly now, when I'm off in the ditch, what got me there, why this person's reacting to me, why they may have no idea that I'm upset, how to go back and talk to them in their language, their personality, or standing in the power of knowing who I am and what I need. And that's very different from needing something from someone else and just presenting, here's what I need. It has transformed my life. It has transformed all of my relationships. The second question was, how do you find your passion and purpose? I believe if you know your personality type, it will show you how to find your passion and purpose, because it depends on how you put your energy in the world and what you expect back from it. And how do you get loved the way you need? I know very specifically. It has given me the knowledge to know that for myself, without the expectation that it's up to my husband or my children or my friends to make me happy. But it's a lot clearer for them when I can say to them, this is what I need, and I can negotiate it now. I used to feel like I was clothes on a clothesline, my hands were attached, but my feet were flapping in the wind, and I was somebody for everyone. I now feel really grounded in the knowledge of knowing who I am, while knowing how to appreciate other people. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my passion and purpose with you.